Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kane, welcoming the amazing Kat Von D to In the Lab. For someone who only has one tattoo, it's pretty cool to sit next to the queen of tattoos herself, Miss Kat Von D. I'm an enormous fan. I watched all of LA Inc. I loved you on the show, and I'm thinking about getting a second tattoo, which we'll get into a little later.
Okay, I want to know what your first tattoo is.
It's a stupid little bull's head on my shoulder that
Why
I got.
Why is it stupid?
I mean, I'd show you if I was in shape. I'd literally lift my shirt up and you'd be like, wow, that is the worst thing ever.
No. I mean, I have silly tattoos. I don't know. I think as long as you can remember the time that you got it and like live in that feeling. Because a lot of people always say, like, do you regret any tattoos? And to me, I just feel like, how could I? Even like my first tattoo was a J. It was for my first love, and that's like celebrating your first experience with love. And I don't know, I don't have any regrets. I don't look at it and go, oh, I remember when we broke up. It's like, no way, man. I remember when I had fun and I got that.
It's funny you
mention that. I love your
that.
Bulls tattoo.
My story's the complete opposite. I went through a horrible breakup, went to Vegas.
Got wasted.
You said it. And unfortunately, next thing I remember is a bandage on my shoulder.
Yeah.
And how did I figure out this happened? And that was that.
That sounds great.
Next tattoo you're doing, though. But
yeah.
In the meantime, you are a New York Times bestselling author. You have a new book out, Go Big or Go Home.
Yeah.
I love it because
Thank you.
It's very intimate. It's raw. There's a lot of artwork in it, which I love. But you actually talk about how this is kind of the most revealing experience into the inner Kat Von D you've written.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've always been an open book, really, with anything from my tweets to my blogs. But it's like this third book was more emotionally challenging than the other books because I think the other ones were just very focused on the tattoo itself. And I can talk about tattooing all day long. It's very easy. But, like, if we were to get profound and get really into stuff, that takes a little bit more out of you. And at the same time, I think that when I finished this book and when I held it in my hands for the first time, I remember having a much deeper sense of pride is not the correct word, but just it was more fulfilling than anything else. So it was good.
It's funny because your life is lived in the public. Obviously, you went through a high-profile engagement.
Partially. I mean, I think if you were to define your life by, like, the narration of a tabloid, that would be pretty sad. So, I mean, I think there's so much more to my life than I think people would ever assume, but that's kind of the nature of the beast. So.
Yeah, and obviously, like anyone else, we see the high-profile romances. Sure. You go from, obviously, the engagement with Jesse James, who had come off through kind of a unique situation. Now you're with Deadmau5. I love Deadmau5, by the way. I'm so jealous that you enjoy it.
You want to date him?
Actually, no, but I mean, how cool is it to live with, like, Deadmau5? Like, Joel, play me some of your new music. I would be like...
I admire. It is exactly like that. I get to every day, when you're with somebody that you admire on a level. I had no idea what that kind of music was because I come from more of the rock world and stuff. But even though I love electronic music, but I liked more like the Depeche Mode world and things like that. But I'm quickly learning about this whole new side of music. And
EDM runs the world right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's all kinds of music that runs the world, but it's definitely becoming, it's so popular and all that, and it resonates with people, so that's good. I think whatever it is, whether you like it or not, but it's just so cool to have, to be with somebody that inspires you. I mean, he inspires me in the sense that, the act of creation, it makes me want to go and play the guitar or piano or whatever. So
that's one of the things that's really amazing about you is this isn't work for you. This is like your passion, and you write about that in your book. You live your art. You live, breathe, and eat tattoos and artistry.
Yeah.
When did this become a love for you?
Well, I mean, I've been drawing since I was a kid. My mom saved all my artwork since I can remember, thankfully, because I like now going through this archive of progress, But I started tattooing when I was 14, and tattooing to me is like, I know it's what I'm known for because of like the TV show and stuff, but it's not really what defines all my passions because I like to just create in general. Like lately, I've recently learned how to make a lamp, and chandeliers, and I really want to get into furniture design or whatever, and I make clothes, and I do all kinds of stuff. I draw, But, so yeah, I think it would be silly to be like a one-trick pony. I would hate that,
Unfortunately, I'm barely a one-trick pony, so for
That's
the
not
untalented,
true.
I would consider this my one trick, but I'm probably like 3/4 of a trick, I guess.
No.
Did I read that
I need to give you a pep talk, man.
I know. Oh my God, where's my therapist when you need her? We're about to go LA Shrinks here instead of Kat Von D.
LA Shrink, that's
Where's
so
Dr.
genius.
V?
God, you're a genius. I love it.
I had Dr. V in here, and she was like, "You're the most handsome, deprived person I've ever met." I was like, almost in tears. I was like, "My daddy left when I was young." Did I read that you and Deadmau5 met on Twitter, by the way? It started as a Twitter romance?
Yeah, it was funny because I didn't know who he was or anything, and then I had said a tweet about somebody pissed me off or something because they said like, "Oh, what are you gonna do when you're 80?" And I'm like, if I even live to be 80, I'll be more worried about pooping myself versus what my skin looks like. You know what I mean? And I think if I do become 80 and I'm totally tattooed unlike others, I'll be the coolest 80-year-old ever. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'll be doing. And he responded to my tweets with some really smart, cynical, dark comment like, "You know what's going to look good on me when I'm 80? 6 feet of dirt." And I'm like, oh, you had me at death.
Love.
Yeah, I was like,
Love.
who? And he's got the word dead in his name. And I was like, wow, and 5 is my favorite number. No, but one of my fan clubs had said, oh my gosh, I can't believe, at Deadmau5 and at Kat Von D are talking. And I was like, who is this? And then he goes, oi, I want to get a tattoo from you, Kat Von D or whatever. And I was like, oh, he's English, because he said oi, And so the whole time I thought I was talking to this English kid. And then sure enough, he's just this Canadian, amazing, he's my other half. It's awesome.
And now you're planning an underwater-themed wedding?
Everybody really, I knew that would happen too. It's, I'm a bookworm, like I love books and literature, and he loves H.P. Lovecraft as well. And so Joel and I, we thought it would be so cool to do a wedding that was themed after The Calling of Cthulhu, which is an H.P. Lovecraft story, and the character in it, Cthulhu, is like half octopus. And so we're taking elements of that story and infusing it into our wedding. But I think people think we're literally going to put on like scuba diving outfits.
No mermaid scuba diving
outfits. I'm like, I wear high heels and I have a lot of makeup on. It's going to come off in the water if we get married that way. No way.
It's funny because one of the things that is interesting about you is you've become this just mainstream cult figure. You have like 5 million fans on Facebook, 1.5 million. God, how do I know this stuff on Twitter? Talk to me about using social media, because obviously it brought you your fiance, but how active are you on social media, and how much in terms of connecting to fans, people, are you able to really utilize it?
I have a love-hate relationship with the social networking stuff. It's like the internet in general. It's like I love it and I hate it. I hate it that I have to know who the Kardashians are. It's like, God, like I don't want to, like, but because it's constantly put in your face, you're like, you have to, I guess, be somewhat downloaded on your social surroundings, which, I've just never felt connected to that whole world. But at the same time, I love the direct connection that I'm able to make with certain fans, with the ones that are real fans, not just people that follow you because they think you're somebody, but people who actually, like when I do a drawing and it inspires them to draw, and like those are the people that I connect with. So it's so cool that I can send a tweet and then that person, and I don't have, it's like texting but not, So I think it's a good thing if you use it as that sort of tool. I'm not into ads or, I like the authenticity if you have that, but I'm not into like, hey, I need to accumulate a shit ton of followers and then, these people who don't really care about you. I'd rather have 10 followers that were legit versus, small things with a lot of quality.
In your book, you talk about risks.
I'm sorry that I talk too much.
No,
okay.
You're actually a great interview. Trust me.
Cool.
We have people here who will be like, yes, so talk to me about the marrying your wife. She was great. Okay.
So you interviewed Joel. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God, we got to get Deadmau5 in here. Although I will literally be like, you know what? Just stop talking. Let's play some music.
Oh yeah.
And then I'll start like doing my like white guy dancing, and it'll just not be a good situation.
It's funny because I'm very much like you, whereas I'm not very technology savvy, and he's like very much, the molecular structure of, synthesizers and stuff, which I think is cool. But yeah, I'll be like, sometimes he's up there doing with robots and stuff, and I'm like, hey babe, come downstairs. Want to play some guitar? And he like naively puts his finger. It's the cutest thing to watch. And I was like, you're Canadian? Do you know who Neil Young is? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, play this chord, and I teach him chords. And the other day he learned how to play Old Man, and so we just sat there playing, and it was like going from like the highest degree of technology to like the simplest
Have you guys pitched a reality show yet? I mean,
no, this is too precious. Yeah,
you guys need to have a reality show. I would absolutely watch that versus the Kardashians. I could care less about Kim's baby bumps.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that, but I know like for us, like we have so many cool art projects that we want to do. Like even for the wedding, we're gonna do we're gonna film a sequence of videos that we're gonna surprise our guests with and stuff, and just be self-created in that sense. So yeah.
Well, speaking of creating, yeah. I want a second tattoo.
Yeah.
So I brought.
Oh yeah. Enough about me. Oh, you want me to draw me?
I want you to.
Why do you always ask me to do this?
I saw you do it to Larry King last night. I'm like, God.
I also did it to Dakota Fanning, so.
She doesn't count. Like Larry's cool. Like Larry's my icon, like my idol. Like I met him and I was literally
like.
I did. I was like.
I seriously, when I was when I was drawing on him, I was like, he was singing, and I was like sitting there going.
He's a really good singer, as are you, by the way.
Oh,
right?
thank you. Well, yeah, you'll see. But I remember sitting there going, is Larry King singing to me as I doodle my name on his arm? I'm like, this is crazy. If you knew where I come from, like a Mexico, like little tiny pueblo, and like, didn't know any English, and now I'm here. It's like the most surreal moment. It was like, oh.
See, now I have to match it.
So
I'll
lucky.
Sing too. You ready?
Yes. What are you gonna sing?
God knows what horrors are gonna come out of me.
I have no idea what I'm gonna tattoo, but you can't look. That's the rule.
Getting to know, now that you've gotten to know me, I leave it completely up to you.
Yeah. Okay. You hold this on this side. That way I'm gonna take it right here.
Do you know how much patience it's taking? I'm very ADD. Do you know how much patience it's taking not to look at what you're drawing on my arm right now?
I can't believe you haven't.
This is the coolest thing ever.
Oh, I think that's it. Look.
Oh my God, how cool is this? That is the coolest thing ever. I'm going to give you a hug. It's so awesome. With that being said, everybody check out Kat Von D's new book, Go Big or Go Home. She just went big on me, actually. But huge fan, but even bigger fan now because you're just freaking awesome.
Oh, thanks, man.
So happy I could have you in here.
This is actually probably one of the funnest interviews I've done on this whole entire trip. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, whatever, Larry King.
Yeah, totally.
With that being said, what an absolute honor to induct Kat Von D into Cade Nation. You ready to do Cade out with me on 3?
Yes. Wait, okay, so you go...
1, 2, 3, and then you'll do Cade out with me.
And I say...
Cade out.
Cade out. Okay, ready?
Ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Cade out.